Hello everybody and welcome to my monthly update for December 2018. It's getting a bit chilly in the workshops now, isn't it? I've strategically placed a radiator underneath my pillar drill table so that when the heat comes up, it heats up the table and I get this nice warm bit of cast iron to touch. Don't know if it's a good idea or not, but it certainly works. It's lovely. But I am not recommending any of you to do it because I don't know if it is a good idea or not. Yeah, all right. Anyway, November. I said December at the start. Oh, screw it. This is my monthly update for November. What a mental month this has been. Like, literally, my calendar, look, in fact, I'm going to show you. Look at the state of this. So we started off the month looking pretty good. I had the 1st and 2nd off. Then I was working at Axminster. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday teaching. I also had an evening class on the Tuesday. Then I had the carpentry store show in Ireland. Then I had to teach again Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and do the evening class on Tuesday. Those Tuesdays are long days at the moment. I'm getting there at about just before 8 in the morning and leaving at 9 o'clock at night, minging on those Tuesdays. Then we had the Harrogate show. Then I've been teaching again the first half of the week. Then Rosie treated me away to a long weekend in Brussels, which was well needed. Thank you, Rosie. And then teaching again at the start of this week. And then finally I had 2 days in the workshop again a couple of days ago, and then back at Axminster, and we're on the 2nd, which is today. So in short, absolutely minging. So if you want a quick overview as to why uploads have been a little bit sporadic the past month, that is why. I've been working my absolute arse off. Not to say I didn't enjoy anything, it was absolutely awesome. The carpentry store show in Ireland was so much fun. I basically parked myself up on a Lee Nielsen bench and was doing dovetail demos, sharpening demos all day. I met a lot of other people who were also doing demonstrations, caught up with some old work colleagues that I used to work with at Axminster. Such a good weekend. Thank you to everyone that came to that, and thank you to all of you who came up and spoke to me. And then moving on to the Harrogate show, that was equally as awesome. Very much enjoyed meeting you guys there, but that one really took it out of me, especially on the last day. I'm sorry if I came across a little bit tired that day, but yeah, that was hard work, that show. I don't think I've ever said so many words in a day before, but yeah, really enjoyable. Thank you to everyone who came up to me at both of those shows. It was awesome meeting you guys, and yeah, hopefully we'll do it again next year, hopefully. But yeah, a couple of shout outs for people that I met at the show. Anthony Elliot, thank you very much for the keyring that you gave me. It is awesome. Anthony makes these really nice keyrings and also picture frames with this really cool, I think it's resin, aluminium, honeycomb. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but he did an Instagram story on how he makes these keyrings. And given how simple they look, they're actually incredibly complex to make. And I watched this Instagram story a couple of days before going to Harrogate, and then I look up one day, he's there, and he gives me a keyring to take away. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. Unfortunately, I haven't actually attached it to my keys because I think I would put a jailer to shame with the amount of keys I've got on here if I was to add a keyring to that as well. That would take up a lot of valuable pocket space, but I have got it on my shelf of little things at home above my desk in my bedroom. So yeah, that was really awesome. I also met Tom Sands and Daisy Tempest there. They both are luthiers, make these really nice guitars. Daisy is also doing like these woodworking related cartoons, and she was kind enough to do one of me about how you learn woodworking, which I was flattered by. Thank you for that, Daisy. She's now offering them as t-shirts and mugs and everything. So I'll put a link in the description to both their Instagram pages as well as Daisy's store. I also met Peter Parfitt there properly, which was great. He's just exactly as he comes across in his videos. He's just very knowledgeable, very British, and is just awesome to be around. I loved hanging out with him that weekend. I saw him briefly at the Discover Axminster event back in, when was that? September, I think, but didn't really get a proper chance to speak with him. But yeah, Harrogate gave me a good opportunity to have a catch up with him. And yeah, it was very enjoyable. In fact, on the subject of Peter, this big power tool bench I'm making at the moment, and that sort of guide system that drills all the holes in top using Pythagoras, Peter is the one who invented that, so I'll put a link to his channel up in the top corner. Definitely have a look at it. It was really good hanging out with him. And seeing as I didn't do a monthly update last month because of, as you saw, how mental my calendar was, I also did a talk for Pop-Up Business School at an event they did in Reading, where I basically talked about like how I got started with the whole YouTube thing and how to grow a following and all that. So that was really good fun, a good challenge for me. I was pretty much putting the presentation together the morning of the actual event. I was quite disorganized, but it went really well. I like to plug what Pop-Up Business School do in my videos because they helped me quite a lot at the start. They basically run free events around the country, showing you how to start businesses, leveraging online platforms and all sorts of things. Free to attend, well worth going along to. I'm going to put a link to the Pop-Up Business School website in the description. Events all around the UK and abroad as well. So have a look at that if you want to jump from a job that you're not really interested in, or you just want to get like this little side hustle going on of these crafty things that we do, whatever you're doing. Go into one of those events. They're free. You've got nothing to lose. And you never know, you might be able to make a bit of extra income on the side from doing what you love doing, which is what I am all about. So yeah, what else have I done this month? The UJK router table unboxing. I know a few of you have ended up buying one since watching that video. I'm very sorry. I know they're expensive, but I promise you it is well worth it. It is an awesome router table. You will not regret it, but I am sorry about that initial investment that you were inflicted by. Just look at the long term. I promise you it's worth it. I also did the unboxing with Bob from Bosch, which was great. Bob, I love having Bob around. I've known him for years at Axminster because he's one of the trainers. He'll come in, talk us through some of the products that they do, and I consider Bob a friend. He's a great laugh and he says how it is. It doesn't matter that he's employed by Bosch. If he doesn't like something, he will say it.
I'm not a fan of this. So my good friends in Germany, please listen. My colleagues, please listen. This bag, I don't like it.
Those of you that watched that video, as you can see, it wasn't a sales pitch at all. It's just Bob talking you through the Extractor, what to look out for, what not to do with it, what bits to throw away. I think there was some really good information in that video. A lot of you appreciated him being there. I liked having someone else in the workshop to talk to as well. And yeah, it was really good fun. In fact, he actually came back the other day and he bought me a new thing to try out. So after that video came out, there was a few comments and a few messages sent to me about, Matt, can you do a video on the Bosch 12 volt router? Well, I have got it here, and he also gave me the little 12 volt planer as well, which to be honest, I don't really use planers a whole lot in my work, but I do want to have a mess around with it. So that will certainly be something I'll be using in the future. But the main thing is this ugly little router, because let's be fair, it does look pretty ugly, but as soon as you pick it up, it all makes sense. You've got a really good grip there. The bit is, in fact, I'm just going to take this battery out so I don't chamfer my finger. The bit is under your palm of your hand, which doesn't really make sense to start with until you introduce a bit of wood, run that bearing up against it. My pressure is now down on this bit of wood here, and it's doing the cut here, which is great because with a normal router, you'd be like trying to balance it on the edge. You've got an even amount of weight, so it's going to tip, whereas this, it just forces you to put the pressure there and you're locked in. It's got a really nice quick release depth adjustment on it, as well as a fine adjustment on there. It's pretty much solely made for doing work on the edges of timber. You don't really want to do grooves and stuff on this, but at first impressions, I love it. It's so cool. So when he left after dropping this off, I was running around like a madman, just like just putting chamfers on everything because it is so handy to use. So I will be doing a proper review of this in the future once I've had some more sensible use of it, should we say, rather than just chamfering random things around my workshop. But yeah, I think I'm going to enjoy using this. The other video that I did was the Surrey Timbers tour, which has been massively requested, not in regards to Surrey Timbers, but how to buy timber, how to behave when you visit a sawmill, how to not make yourself look like an idiot. That was basically the premise behind this series that I'm going to be starting. For those of you that didn't see the video, I visited Surrey Timbers, who are a sawmill in Guildford, and we basically just had a walk around with Brad, the guy that runs the place, and he showed us what they stock, what to do when you want to buy a board. Incredibly simple, but it just takes the edge of your first time visit. I'm going to be visiting a lot of sawmills around the country, so you'll be able to get a sort of all-round view of how they all work. You'll be able to compare different sawmills to one another, and also if you work in the US, even though I'm not visiting your sawmills for the time being, I'm not going to say I'm not going to, but I might do, you might still get little bits of useful information in there, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. It also gave me an opportunity to mess around with some really good cinematography and proper documentary style camera work with my friend Rob, who I am hoping to employ as a cameraman next year 3 days a week. I can't quite justify the cost of a cameraman at the moment, but it is something I definitely want to do. If you want to support that, Patreon is the place to do it. Link is in the description. I've set a goal there so you can literally see how close we're getting to it. But yeah, what would happen is if I was to get Rob as a cameraman, he would come in maybe 1.5 days a week. We would film a project video, get some really cool camera shots. We'd get a lot done in that time because I'm not moving around the camera, tripping over cables and things. He's literally going to be able to follow me around. I'm going to be able to get a lot more done. There's going to be a lot more progress made in the videos. He will then edit those, and then on those extra days when he's not in the workshop, I will carry on filming all of my standard tutorials and things where I don't necessarily need the cameraman. So it'll basically mean I'll be able to get higher quality content out more often, and it will just be less stress for me because it's not working at the moment. These late evenings of editing are knackering. Yeah, that was kind of a tangent off the whole Surrey Timbers thing, but yeah, if you're able to support with that, I think that would be game changing for the channel. And of course, thank you in advance if you do choose to donate towards that. The final thing to mention was the giveaway. That was stressful. It started off just fine. There was only a few minor hitches with the whole process of getting your entries in. We had over 20,000 entries at the end. That's not 20,000 individual people. It's 20,000 opportunities to win. It's weird how it works. But yeah, I stupidly timed that competition to end while I was in Harrogate, I think. As you saw by the calendar, things just did not plan out. Hence why it took so long for me to get the prizes all organised and the winners all organised, even though it only took me 10 minutes. But the giveaway winners have been announced. If you haven't already seen that, link is in the top corner. Oh, I was going to do shout outs for projects that I liked. That'd have been good, wouldn't it? I've just been bigging up throughout this whole giveaway that I wanted to share what you guys have been made, and then I would have forgotten to do it. Rubbish, Matt. Absolute rubbish. So I did have a flick through these a couple of weeks ago. The stuff that you guys are making, I did not expect some of the things that I saw. They look incredible. There is such a variety of work here. And I think, much like many other YouTubers, I am going to be making user projects a regular part of my monthly updates. Maybe feature 3 to 5 of your pieces of work. As I requested, I didn't want people to just think they could submit woodworking things. If there was any other little bits, then just submit that. As long as it's something you've made and you're proud of, then submit it. And my God, did people definitely do that. I'm not getting connection. Come on. Right, I'll do it on my phone. I look like the antisocial teenager, ignoring everything. God, it's late. I don't even know what I'm saying. This is the thing. This is what I've been doing throughout all of November. I've been coming into the workshop after my shifts on Sunday, so I've been getting here at about 5:30, going through till 10 o'clock, trying to get this power tool bench built and all that. Oh, I need to show you progress on that later. I digress. I'm getting distracted. So the first one is by Paul Woodburn, and he has installed a new set of bench dogs on his workbench. Paul, I just think you're barking mad, to be honest. The next one is by Matthew, and I recognise that workshop floor anyway. You're studying at Warwickshire, aren't you? Say hello to Jamie for me. Matthew, that thing looks awesome. Make sure to share pictures of that when it's finished, because that will look incredible. I don't know what you're planning on doing with the front there, but does it say in the hashtags? Giraffe print. Ooh. I'll share that in my next monthly update. I want to see that when it's done. That'll look really cool. We've got a wooden bow tie here by Square City Pieces. This was made for his wedding to match his wife's wedding dress. Commitment. I like it. Ooh, that is also Warwickshire College Wood Shop Originals. Again, it's that teak floor that I always recognise. He is making some sort of cabinet. Looks like there's 2 drawers to go in the bottom of it later on. That's going to look awesome as well. Great work on the marquetry there. That looks really good. I did a similar design to my... Oh, wait, I've got it here. Oh, yes. So about, when was it? 6 years ago? 7 years ago? I knew how to open cabinets. Now apparently I don't. There we go. About 6 or 7 years ago was when I started my woodworking, furniture making endeavours. And it was during City and Guilds Level 1. And I made this box. I think you did it a little bit better than me. My God, is that ropey. This is actually the project that I'm teaching my students now at Rycottwood. Can't remember what mark I got for this. It definitely wasn't a distinction. Well, you all start somewhere. That says a lot. I seem to remember this thing isn't square either. I think the lid only fits one way. Oh yeah. Oh, I think I've improved since then. I think I've improved. Oh, look at that. Matt's being distracted again. Right, what else have we got on here? Huge trestle table from Charles. Whoa, look at that thing. That's massive. I really want to make a trestle table for my garden when I actually get a house that will fit it in the garden. Ooh, here's a nice one. From Jonas, he does, leatherworking. Leatherworking is something that I want to do at some point. It looks so satisfying. It's quieter than woodworking, I think. I hope. Just want to start making other things. More on this subject later, actually. That's very extravagant. Oh, that's quite cool, though. He used to do leather working with his grandfather when he was little, and he still does it now. That's cool. That is really cool. Alan May with his first ever dovetails using the Cat's Moses guide. Hey, they're looking all right, aren't they? Nice work. On the subject of the Cat's Moses guide, I did a video on how to cut hand-cut dovetails, and I featured the Cat's Moses guide in it. Link is up there. Let's do one more. Ooh, that looks cool. Oh, sweet. So it's a 1 to 100 model of a self-designed student residence. Target trying to use as many environmentally friendly materials as possible, like bamboo and green roofs. I would live in that. As long as I get that one with the balcony at the top, that's my room. All right, so if you ever make it, workshop will go in that downstairs area. I'll use up most of that. You don't need to waste it on students. No, they'll just make it messy with all their parties and stuff. No, I'll have it. Yeah, that is all I'm going to be able to do. There's so many things here I want to shout out. If you want to have a search through some of the other projects, just hashtag Esley giveaway on Facebook and it'll open up all of them. There's some really cool things in there. As I said, I'm going to make this a regular part of my monthly updates now. Not entirely sure how I can get you to submit them just yet. I guess I could do some sort of email thing maybe, open up a new email inbox. I'll work that out and then let you guys know in the next monthly update or something. The other thing is I received a package from Ed Styles, is his name. He goes under the Instagram profile Artisan Styles, has made me a little Christmas gift. It's so cool, so cool. It's a snowman, right, holding a miniature version of the base that I made earlier this year. Crazy detailed. The snowman is beautifully finished. I think that's an African Blackwood. I'll get in focus, come on. African Blackwood hat on it. It's so cool. Like, wait a minute, macro lens. Macro. Look at this. It's got all the splits in it and everything. Still a 6-string, like I made. It's about as smiley as I am. Nice little scarf. It's about as pale as I am. Thank you to the commenter on Instagram who said that. For those of you not in on that joke, while I was making this bass guitar in the series, there was a lot of people making fun of my pale legs because I decided to wear shorts in one of the episodes. I think they've got the skin tone pretty accurate there. So Ed, that is awesome. Thank you so much for that. He is living right here on the shelves, watching everything I do. Awesome, thank you. On the subject of things being sent to me, I am going to be opening up a PO box at, again, some point in the future. I just haven't got around to doing it. Those of you asking, Matt, where can I send things to? I will actually have that in the description, in my videos, on my website, wherever you'll be able to find it and send things to me. It's a work in progress. It costs a lot of money, but I think it will be worth it because apart from anything, I've got a sticker wall that needs filling up. If any of you have stickers, send them to me. Once I get the address sorted, because I want to fill this thing so much that it has to spread onto the walls behind, and yeah, like, it's looking a bit sparse at the moment. I'm quite ashamed of it. That's why I haven't really made a thing of it up until now, but if you got any stickers, we'll do a sticker swap or something in the future. Now, speaking of le future, don't know why I said it like that, I am going to be doing a demo at the Axminster Nuneaton store next weekend, which is I should probably have this to hand, Saturday the 8th of December. So if you're near the Axminster store in Nuneaton, pop in. I'm going to be there doing probably dovetail demos, planing demos, sharpening demos, the usual things. But to be honest, if you have any questions, if you have any requests of what you'd like to see, I can pretty much do it for you there as long as it's not something like pole dancing or whatever. And then on the subject of Axminster, because things are so mental at the moment, and because I'm not getting a whole lot of time to do videos and things, I am leaving Axminster. I've been working there on weekends for 5 years now. I hit that milestone back in October, and 5 years, I think, that's a good number to hit. I've enjoyed every single moment of working at Axminster. Retail jobs suck. normally. Having to do customer facing roles in a job that you don't enjoy, it's always such a drag. But Axminster, it doesn't feel like I've been there for 5 years. The people that come in there are so passionate about what they do. They're very skilled at what they do. They're always happy to share information. People that work there, because it's still a relatively small company, I guess, everyone knows each other. We all get on really well. Do you know what? I'm going to really miss it, actually. Oh, I'm getting all emotional. I'm not getting emotional about it. It's a bloody job, Matt. Pull yourself together. But seriously, leaving Axminster is quite a scary thought, to be honest. But it's definitely needed. It's definitely time to move on. And it's going to give me more time to attack this, which I am really looking forward to. So that is pretty much the big news of this episode. For me, at least. It probably means nothing for you because most of the time you see me, I'm in here anyway. But yeah, well, it's my weekends back. I get my weekends back. Yes. How long is this video now? I keep going off on tangents. The final thing I need to do before I go home and go to bed, I've got something that really, really needs to be done. These shelves need to go because I am buying more equipment. Oh, let's move this. There you go. Let's blind myself. I am buying more equipment and I'm running out of floor space in this workshop. What equipment are you buying, Matt? I am buying some engineering equipment, a milling machine and a metal lathe. Why is that, you may ask? Because I want to mess around with other things. That was quite possibly the most uninspiring sentence I've ever said. Basically, woodworking, I'm obviously not at the top of my game. I will never be at the top of my game with it, but I've been doing it for a number of years now, and I don't want to be limited by just being able to work with wood. Metal is a whole new thing and it's going to open me up to a whole range of other opportunities. That's not to say I'm going to become a metalworking channel in the future. It's still going to be a woodworking channel, but I am going to be doing a little bit more tinkering here and there and maybe some projects. Like one thing I've had in my mind for years is to make a infill plane similar to what you'd see like Carl Holty make and Sauer and Steiner. Obviously nowhere near as well engineered because I am not at that level, but maybe refine designs and just have a play around and see what I can do and mess around with something that will challenge me in a whole new way. So the milling machine and lathe that I'm getting need to go here. And these shelves are taking up quite a lot of room. I am sort of sharing this unit. They're using this for storage. I'm using the other bit as a workshop, but a lot of this is just junk. So I'm gonna have a clear out. We're gonna get rid of loads of stuff, see what's left over, and then I'll probably rip down the shelves at a later date. That's pretty much it for this episode. I did say I was gonna let you know where the power tool bench was actually. Let's just show you that before we finish things up. This is the right-hand cabinet. The bottom isn't attached yet, but yeah, that's all together. And this is the left-hand cabinet. That divider needs to go across here, but I'm making solid progress on that because I've been filming part 4 of that series over the various Sundays and like late evenings I've been doing here. That has equated to over 4.5 hours of footage, which is going to take me a while to edit it, but it will be out soon. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry I blabbered on in this episode. If you want to support the channel at all, be sure to visit the Patreon link below. Help me get that cameraman next year. Hugely appreciative if you're able to help with even like $1 a month. If you want to buy t-shirts, not Axminster t-shirts, Matt Esley t-shirts, they are available to buy on my website. Keep an eye out in the future for an area to submit your projects to me so I can share them with the rest of my audience. That is all I have to say. See you in the next video.